while we're waiting here, I'd be, there'd be a couple times I'd love to, hear from people, especially in this. I'm going to try to leave a meaningful chunk of time at the end. But if anyone wants to just throw out anything about, like what made you sign up, what looked interesting, that would be awesome. Or not. No pressure.
Oh, Kathy, thank you for trying to talk. You're muted.
Yes, I found the AI infrastructure and unlocking really that business logic and data for a broader, more enterprise kind of view that can leverage agentic AI. I found that concept very intriguing.
Nice.
Great. Yeah. After pushing against, I'm going to just admit here, after pushing against the public, like all AI all the time narrative starting a couple of years ago, we had taken the stance of like, well, no one really wants a hallucination opportunity inside their compute models. But now, thanks to the agentic, now the hottest thing, of course, you all know, agentic workflows. And we said, well, we've done that for a long time. They just weren't agent driven. So now, thanks to the MCP server, which you'll see in a little while, we're solidly in that conversation. So,
I think we should probably jump in and kick off and
yeah,
respect the on-time arrivals.
Yes, I completely agree. Thanks, Pete. My brother Pete has been very helpful in a variety of ways. Going to help physically run the webinar too. So, so thanks again, everybody. Yeah, just by way of quickest introduction, Dean Zarras, founder and CEO of ClearFactr, which I suspect maybe you've looked into us a little bit of time. We're a startup, but in stage 3.0, the company and product has actually gone through 3 major chunks of time in its history. The 3.0 version of the product that you're going to see in a moment is, I think, by far the best ever. And again, we're thank you for being here. I call myself an application developer. I've been accused of being good at that. I've never been accused of being an equally good enterprise software salesperson. So you'll see me do my best. But nonetheless, we've had a bunch of successes with ClearFactr. And over my career, what I've really focused on is solving problems with software. So I was personally never one to chase shiny objects, but the need for something like ClearFactr revealed itself quite some time ago, and and thus here we are. What I'm also going to lead off with is not just jump right into the product, but describe with only 2 slides why ClearFactr exists and the kinds of things that brought it into being. And suffice to say, the more that you can, sort of see yourself or your company in especially the first slide, the more ClearFactr will resonate with you. And if you don't see yourself anywhere on that picture, that's fine. We can't be all things to all people. Even the word spreadsheet means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's a bit of a blessing and a curse, spreadsheets. Who uses spreadsheets for what? Well, they kind of use them for everything. Sometimes we burn up the clock describing what we're not intended to do, such as scrolling through tons and tons of data. But without further ado, I'm going to share my whole screen. And now you're going to see a few different things. And I'll just quickly describe what you're looking at. All right, so here are the big picture, 2 slides to come. Here's ClearFactr in the background. We'll get to that. Here's Claude Desktop waiting for me to connect to ClearFactr over here. And this is a series of blog posts explaining this. So what I have put together here, sometimes in this very moment, I've seen people want to run away screaming, like, oh my God, too many words, too many boxes, lines, confusing as anything. And then I've had people say, and I try to get away from this and get into the product and all that stuff. And I've had people say, no, wait, slow down, back up to that slide. Oh my God, you're describing my firm perfectly. And I think, to repeat myself, the more spreadsheets you have in your firm, the more likelihood it's going to look a little like this. Unintended, what I call systemic dysfunction. No one sets out to be dysfunctional, so it's unintentional. But with the end users who use the spreadsheets plus other things, being in the middle of the diagram, my whole career, I put the user first. All the other stuff around them was, sort of secondary. Users, at the end of the day, don't care how the solution is being put to them. They do care that it's timely and up to date and can be modified quickly and all that stuff, and that it's trustworthy. But just hitting some highlights here, you have groups of people, people that are creating great spreadsheets, and we'll get back to that in a second over here. And the users in the middle are using some of those great spreadsheets. There are dotted lines here. So one dotted line is where custom software developers who might also build products with or without product management, their results wind up on the desk of the air quote solution end users. And then you have data engineering over here. Data engineering and software people, they always worked nicely together. They always wanted to help each other. This was always a lot harder, getting data engineering to really power up the people, building the cool things in their spreadsheets. When I say just throwing bodies over here, dug into the history at Goldman Sachs, for example, this wasn't one auditor, one compliance person. This was whole floors of people just trying to stay on top of what people are doing with their spreadsheets. And then, of course, at scale, the overall enterprise tends to lose. So before I go to the next slide, so what is ClearFactr, right? That classic question. What is it? As quickly as possible. We've come to realize over the years, many iterations, pivots, whatever you want to call it, that we are a solutioning platform. We'll address this diagram through ClearFactr. And we can't be all things to all people, but we exist because Excel is amazing for so many things, but it was only ever built to create a file. And the file might be amazing. It might be a full-blown piece of software developed by someone super talented with all kinds of bells and whistles, plugins, you name it. But the moment the file gets copied to somebody else, all right, you're quickly sliding into a road to ruin. So we built ClearFactr to solve that. And then we do have a different take on what the spreadsheet experience actually is. So it looks and feels a lot like, Excel, even Google Sheets. You might say, oh, well, Google Sheets, gee, now there's no more files, you've solved the single source of truth problem, maybe, but you still wind up with all kinds of other issues. So just flipping ahead. So a solution now powered by ClearFactr winds up in the hands of these end users. And everything else is the same other than all the sort of, nasty, problematic dots and whatever have now been all turned into benefits. And I will send this to all of you. I'll even point you, back to this thing that I alluded to earlier. But same people, simply put, powered up to work with each other to deliver the solutions to the end users, where now, for example, audit, compliance, risk management departments can just follow along right through the platform. And they can see exactly who's doing what and when and why. And of course, at scale, we believe the enterprise wins.